Hello guys, in this video we'll have a look at the slight changes for the Arcane Mage in patch 7.2. If you haven't seen my update for the Frost Mage spec and you are interested to know more about the strongest spec in the current patch, click on the icon in the upper right corner of this video for a link towards that guide. Arcane had a bright future when patch 7.15 was released, but it was cast out into the shadows pretty fast. I have been testing out Arcane the last couple of weeks, and it is still strong and so much fun to play. I like bursty specs in general, and Arcane definitely delivers in this case. In my opinion, you should play the spec that you enjoy the most. Unless you are really pushing a mythic, I would go for the best performing spec. Let's cross our fingers a buff is heading towards Arcane with the class changes in patch 7.2.5. On the PTR notes, it does look promising. Let's first have a look at the pros and the cons of the Arcane Mage. The pros are, like I said, juicy high burst damage, which makes it strong on single targets. Arcane is also great on 3 to 4 target fights. Arcane overall has good mobility thanks to Slipstream. My favorite thing about Arcane is that you are able to switch on a new target and destroy it with those juicy Arcane missile procs. The cons. The Arcane Mage performs mediocre on steady AoE and cleave fights. Also, it relies heavy on Arcane missile procs, so there is some RNG involved. It is somewhat a legendary dependent spec, and finally bad positioning will be severely punished. Best legendaries for Arcane. Mystic Kilt of the Rune Master causes Arcane Barrage to grant 3% of your maximum mana per Arcane charge spent. It is a very good legendary and almost mandatory when playing Arcane. I will tell you guys exactly why when we go over our stats. Cord of Infinity causes our Arcane missiles to increase the damage of your next Mark of a Lunith by 1% per stack. It is nice for AoE and in general a good legendary. Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish is a strong option for Arcane due to the passive stats it provides, and it's also helpful for cleave and AoE fights. Shard of the Exodar is exceptionally good when it comes to the Mage in general, no matter what spec we play. Rodin's Assaulting Arm Wraps causes our Arcane missiles to have an 18% chance to make your next Arcane Blast cast within 5 seconds cost no mana. A very good legendary in my opinion. Gravity Spiral grants Evocation an additional charge. It looked so strong in the beginning, but that wasn't the case. However, it can be useful for pushing damage because you will be able to burn more mana. Next on the list, the stats. This brings me automatically into the legendary problem for Arcane. The kilt that gives you extra mana regen makes mastery less needed. Therefore, the stats will look different depending on whether you have the kilt or not. The stats are as followed. Intellect, haste, I would go almost up to 8k because of the GCD, and most Nighthold fights require a lot of movement, so having more haste will definitely help. Then versatility around 3k, crit comes next, and finally mastery. You guys do need to play around with your stats if you get the feeling that you're getting out of mana way too fast. If this is the case, then go for more mastery. I would say that the stats that I mentioned are a guideline, because reaching those stats does require high item level gear. Let's have a quick look into the best relics. Ethereal Sensitivity is overall the best relic, especially for single target, as it increases the chance to activate Arcane missiles by 1%. This is overall our best relic. Egwin's Wrath is a great relic, giving you 1% increased crit chance. Blasting Rod is also very good for single target, as it gives Arcane Blast a 2% damage increase. Egwin's Fury is a solid one for boosting your Arcane missile damage by 2%. Arcane Purification is the best for more AoE damage, as it boosts your Arcane Explosion damage by 3%. Okay guys, so let's go over the talents. So Amplification, Slipstream, Rune of Power, Charged Up, Chrono Shift, Erosion, Overpowered. These are going to be our talents for the Arcane Mage almost all the time, and the only thing that does change is Resonance. Resonance for 3 to 4 targets, AoE fights, and Charge Up for pure single target. Maybe some short bursts for AoE fights, but then you use Arcane Explosion. Supernova maybe for Mythic Pluses, Nether Tempest for Scorpion. All in all, your talents are going to stay the same. Going over my stats real fast, so I don't have the Legendary Kilt, and I do not have as much mastery as I should have, but normally more mastery is better when you have mana issues. I like Slipstream very much, and I do tend to keep one Arcane missile stack all the time. Depending on the fight, I sometimes dump my stacks if I'm sure that I'm positioned correctly. So our 4 set is really good. Casting Arcane Missiles reduces the remaining cooldown and evocation by 2 seconds. The 2 set is also good. We have an additional 5% chance to activate Arcane Missiles. I know there's a lot of RNG with the Arcane Mage, but Arcane Missiles are really good. Then these are your 2 business slot trinkets. So let's go over the rotation. I'm going to show you guys the rotation with Charged Up. And then with Resonance, the slight difference is that you have ramp up time to getting your 4 arcane charges. After that, the rotation is basically the same. The only thing that you want to do when you have Resonance is going into the conserve phase. You want to dump as many arcane barrages as you can possibly get with your Rune of Power. That way they do more damage. Also, Mark of Luneth together with your Rune of Power, because Mark of Luneth did get buffed. So the rotation looks like this. You want to take a pre-pot, precast Mark of Luneth on the pull, Rune of Power, Charged Up, Arcane Power, Presence of Mind, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, Arcane Missiles during your Rune of Power. After Arcane Power runs out, your second Rune of Power, dump your Arcane Missiles, dump your Arcane Missiles. Keep pushing. Right now you want to burn all your mana. Burn all your mana. If you get 1 more stack, dump it. Dump your mana. Evocation. This is the perfect position. What you want to do right now when you cap 100 is another Arcane Blast. Rune of Power, Arcane Blast. Dump your stacks. Dump your stacks. Charged Up, get your stacks back. Dump some more stacks. Dump some more stacks. And then Mark of Luneth. But what you want to achieve is your Mark of Luneth together with your Rune of Power. And then you are going into the conserve phase. So in the conserve phase, it's just reaching 4 stacks and dumping with an Arcane Barrage when you reach your 4 stacks. So dump everything. Now you're just waiting for Arcane Power and Rune of Power to come off cooldown. There we go. What you want to do right now is burn all your mana, burn it as fast as you can. This evocation is off cooldown. And there we go. That's the basic rotation. And then after that, it's the same stuff. It's basically the same. It's the same thing all over again. So, Arcane Barrage, get your stacks back. And there we go. So that's it for the rotation, guys. I live stream on Twitch every week from Monday till Friday. For more info, you guys can click on the link in the description that brings you straight to my Twitch page. Don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.